Welcome to Riding in the Dark.
RevelatorAlf.
Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're all well. So this video, if you can see me, is all about riding in the dark. So I thought I'd give you 5 good tips about riding in the dark, especially now as winter is approaching. Obviously, if you lived in another part of the world, like down under, it would be the opposite now, but you get my drift. Okay, so 2 freebies. First of all, make sure your bike is mechanically sound, make sure all your lights are clean, and maybe invest in extra lighting as well. The other thing is, invest in some warmer clothing, layer up, get your winter waterproofs on, all that kind of stuff. Whenever you're riding in the dark, obviously you haven't got the sun to keep you warm, so having extra layers on is always a good plus. Okay, so let's dig into these 5 big tips. So number 1 is the obvious thing. You can't see as much, and you can't really see the road. You might not have, you'll lose a lot of that peripheral vision. So start making allowances for that. And also be aware that at night, if you're riding at night, your headlight will cast shadows as well, so you might get some visual illusions as you're riding along. So just be aware of that, and also just be aware, especially if you're riding on back roads, any sort of wildlife that can come out and just cross your path as well. So just be aware of that, make allowances for it, and maybe even just ride a little bit slower. Okay, so number 2 is, because it's dark, it's going to be a little bit colder. A little bit colder means that you're going to be colder, but also the tires and the bike is going to be a little colder. The road surface is going to be a little bit colder as well. If it's inclement weather, or the temperature really drops below freezing, then you've got to be careful of that road surface as well. So in other words, every bit of performance is going to be reduced, yours and the bike as well. So just be aware of that, make allowances for that. Keep the bike more upright, ride more conservatively, and just maybe ride a little bit slower as well, and pick your routes along where you want to go. Okay, number 3, if you're not used to riding in the dark or riding at night, but you really want to, then start off slowly. Pick more busier routes, let's say, the bigger roads, ride in urban areas, built up areas, that kind of thing. In general terms, at night traffic density reduces, so it would be a little bit easier to ride at night, but obviously you've got to compensate for the lack of visibility as well. Also, just be aware that if you're looking out for animals or pedestrians as well, they might be harder to see, but other vehicles might find it harder to see you as well. So always be thinking about visibility, always be thinking about what you can see and what others can see as well. Ride accordingly, but start off slowly, start off major routes, start off well lit routes with street lights, and then progress onto back roads if you really want to. Okay, number 4 here, as the sun is just rising here in the UK, well, kind of, you can't ignore the creepy factor, or the creep factor, and that is, at night it can be a little bit spooky, especially when you're going on isolated roads, deserted roads, back roads. You kind of feel isolated, kind of feel as if you're on your own and anything can happen. And it really depends, how spooked you can get will determine how spooked you'll feel. Now, for most people it'd be absolutely fine, but you can't ignore the fact that you could feel a little bit tense, and you might feel a little bit paranoid whilst you're riding on the road, especially back roads that are not lit at all, and all you've got is your main lights on your bike that are casting shadows, and you kind of get these visual illusions and things like that. Then Hollywood starts playing on your mind, and you think, oh, what's going on? Is a werewolf going to jump out the hedgerows and attack me? All that kind of stuff. All I'm saying is that this kind of leads to you feeling a little bit tense, and it can affect how you're riding as well. So just be aware of that. Just take it easy, take a deep breath, slow down a little bit, and just don't over control and don't overcompensate for anything that you feel is a little bit creepy. Now, number 5, and possibly this is the scout in me, let's say. Be prepared. Be prepared when you're riding at night. Say, let's say, take extra waterproofs in your saddlebags if you've got it, or in a backpack. Take a tire puncture repair kit. Make sure your phone is charged so that you can call out. Take some extra warm clothing and extra base layers, that kind of thing, just so that if you do break down, you know, in the middle of the road, on the back roads, in the middle of nowhere, you can call for help, you can keep yourself warm, and basically, you know, you'll be good to go. But just try and stay in well-lit areas, let's say, or near the road, so that people can see you as well. But if you've broken down, you've got the tools to keep yourself warm and also call for help as well. So be prepared, as it were. Be prepared that if you're going to be riding at night, then if something happens, then at least you're going to be safer, let's say. And with that, the sun really has come up whilst making this video, so there we go. Started off in the dark and now it's kind of light. But I hope you found those 5 sort of tips useful for riding at night. If you're not used to riding at night but you want to get out there and do it, then yeah, go and experience it, go and do it. It's great fun, especially in built-up areas with all the lights, or on the back roads where there's no lights at all. Really cool riding, and some of the best riding that you can have as well. But obviously just think about those 5 tips as well, and also those 2 freebies. Right, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, like and share. Check out the website RevelatorAlf.com, and I'll catch you again, and maybe with a bit more light next time. Ta-da.